Welcome to the AP Podcast. This is Mike Shea. I'm here with Kyle Even and David Schmitt of Breathe, Carolina. I'm sure most of you are familiar with them. It's kind of hard not to be. These guys have been around since 2007, and they've definitely made a name for themselves within the music community, not only just within our world, but in the general pop world. And I think that's beautiful. It's awesome. And they gone through some transformations over the past, I don't know, about a year, maybe, roughly. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit because there's a lot of artists that are going through that these days. And so first of all, thank you for waking up and doing this. This is awesome. I know this is like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's like 10 a.m. for you. So let's see if the Starbucks kicks in. So a little history and just trying to get we'll probably try and do some clarifications on this. Obviously, you're both from suburban Denver area. And if I'm correct and if all my research is showing me right, Kyle, you were born in Glenwood Springs?
Glenwood Springs, up by Aspen.
And at some point or another, you've settled in Littleton?
In Littleton, that's where I went to school. And
Chatfield?
And Chatfield, that was my high school.
Home of the Chargers.
Yeah.
Woo! What was your thing in high school? Like, who were you known to be?
You know what? I was friends with like every little group. You know, everyone. There's all the groups. There's the kids upstairs in the corner, and you know, I hung out with literally like every age. Like through, you know, my friends had older brothers and sisters, so we'd be hanging out with them, and I played in bands with kids that were 2 years younger than me too. So as I went through, you know, being a freshman, you know, that whole transition. Then when I was older, it was hanging out with literally everybody below me too, and you know, hanging out with the art kids. I did every art, you know, drawing, painting class, and so I was part of that. And then, you know, I was good friends with all the kids that played soccer and baseball, basketball, and football. And I don't know, it's fun. Just kind of have my finger in every pot.
Did you play any sports?
You know, I did when I was younger. I tried out for baseball my freshman year, but I had to do, I don't remember what it was, but there was like 2 days that I had to miss for the tryout, so I didn't end up making it, and just kind of just put my focus in music and art. And
so, but you started on bass, right?
The first thing, I started singing when I was really young, like doing choir and stuff.
Yeah, you were doing choir. I'm sorry.
I did play bass in one of my first bands, though, and then I was terrible. I could do it. It was just super basic, and I just wanted to sing. I think I felt like that was my calling.
How'd you get into choir? Were you was it suggested or was it?
You know, I think, you know, when you're in elementary school and, you know, everybody does it.
It's that choir. It's that young.
But my music teacher was like, I want you to do a solo for our choir concert. And I was down. And it ended up being me and my next door neighbor, Justin. And I was this thing called the Beethoven rap. And so I was the kid doing the rap part. And that was like my first like solo stuff, doing that, and I just love singing. I sang in middle school. I did choir, and I did My Girl with my best friend Travis Cusack, my other best friend Spencer Otto, and that was kind of the thing that we got known for, was doing My Girl, and it was fun.
That's awesome.
It was definitely a good time.
So when you got into high school, at what point did you start looking at, you know, now I'm going to get into bands? Like, now I want to start actually playing and performing. It
was my friend Tommy, and he was like, "You sing, right?"
That's how it starts.
I'm like, "Well, I mean, I sing in choir and stuff. I never played in a band before." And he's like, "You want to come and just sing and hang out?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And so I just went and kicked it and met a group of other guys, and ended up meeting this kid named Brant Fio, and I still talk to him, still hang out with him, and he's still playing in bands and stuff, and got introduced me to the Starting Line, New Found Glory, and that's how I found a whole new realm of music, and really started diving into that, and it was fun. That's how me playing in bands kind of was giving birth to myself, and just kept going, kept playing, bands kept evolving as I went, and
What did they sound like? What were they like?
When we first started, it was kind of, it was kind of Newfound Glory, Blink-182, kind of very, very much that realm. And then it evolved into kind of this post-hardcore like mesh of trying to figure out how to write songs that way. Mm-hmm. Getting into screaming. My manager at Journey, I worked at Journey Shoes for a while, and my manager played in
Which
screaming in a
Journeys
bunch
did you
of
work
bands.
at?
It was at Southwest Plaza Mall in Littleton.
Still there?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Small little store, hung out, yeah.
Of course, yeah. All the Journeys are small, pretty much.
But yeah, he was like, I'm gonna teach you how to scream. So it was like the weirdest part. Like Rufio is the...
Sure.
They don't even scream. There's like this one part, and it's my last words are nothing. And I would sit there in the car, and it would come around, and I'd just scream it over and over, just trying to figure it out. But I remember sitting in Journeys, and he was like, you just got to go for it. And I just screamed, belt something, and we just ducked behind the table, just started laughing. Old ladies be walking by. We'd just be busting up, but we'd just be playing all kinds of random stuff. And that's eventually how I met David, was playing in local bands. He was, D's from Arvada, Colorado, which is about 45 minutes north. And I'd make the trek up to this venue called New Song Fellowship, we got invited to do this show called Grandpa's Fest, and this guy named Art, everyone called him Grandpa. He was the one who did all the shows and stuff up there, and we opened the show, and Dee's band, As a Flow Waters Rose, played later. And a mutual friend of ours who was actually recording Dee's band, named James Dean, he played in this band called Fallen Stars Forgotten, which was, we loved that band. That was like the local heroes kind of.
Was that before Rivendell or after? Or during?
That was, the band was Rivendell, but we were called Face First at the time.
Okay.
And so it was actually, I joined in with these other kids. My boy Nate Millie and I joined in with Face First. And so that was kind of the transition of us becoming Rivendell. And I watched Dee's band. James was like, you got to check out these guys. I'm recording them. And I watched them, and they were so fun and energetic. And I was like, this is sick. Like, this is, an inspirational like moment for me, watching these kids just rip it up. And ended up playing another show with them at this venue called the Oriental Theater, where it was a great music battle of bands. And I still have the flyer. It's so funny. I have
it's the worst place.
Oh man, yeah,
worst place.
Worst venue. But ended up seeing D, and I walked up to him, and I was like, "Yo, I love you guys' band, and I'm playing in a band. We play at this time." And they came and watched my set, and we friends ever since. Played a bunch of shows with them, and as bands do, come and go and split, and eventually half of D's band formed with half of my band. Like my half went and started another band.
Isn't the story that you would quit your band with the? Am I correct? Maybe I'm getting this all screwed up right now. I just want to make sure I'm not doing it. No, you had quit your band with your drummer.
Yeah.
And then you.
Well, what actually happened was he had quit, and I went from guitar to drums. So I played drums for them for, I don't know, a couple months. I don't even think we played a show, but. Yeah, so it just kind of all fell apart. Like, me and him were, like, the best friends in the band. So it's like when he left, I just was like...
Right. The fun went out, right?
Yeah, I don't have motivation,
So how... Do you remember when you guys started... when you guys met, usually there's a connection. Like, like there's just something... Like when you're dealing with, like, a songwriting partner or a partner band, or your girlfriend or whatever, like there's a connection right off the bat, something that is connected.
Yeah.
So like, do you guys ever thought about that all these time on the road where you sit there and go, you know what I think it is about you, like that?
I think it was something like Kyle has this like enthusiasm that's like not like anybody else. You know what I mean? So when he first came up to me, because I was like, not shy, but in a sense I wasn't like eager to go out and like meet everybody. Like I'm still like that today, I'm just kind of like doing my thing. But I think when he came up to me, he was just like such a cool dude and so nice that, it made me want to watch his set. And you know, I remember, I think you guys had like a cardboard cutout of one of your dudes.
Yeah, because he
couldn't be there, so
didn't make the show.
They were playing this show, and their guitar player they had a cardboard cutout of him just on the stage, and I was like, dude, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And
you didn't have to pay him for that gig.
Drop kicked it too. It was sick.
Yeah, and it,
2-footed.
Yeah, it just was cool. Like I just, and then when they put out like 5 or 6 songs. And when I heard him, I was just like, dude, this is awesome. Like, I was like, this guy's so cool, so I want to check out his new songs, and I did, and it just, it was an awesome connection from the beginning.
So then what about you, David? Like, what were you like in high school? What was your scene in high school?
I mean, I was kind of the same way. I was friends with everybody. I was actually prom king my senior year. I just kind of floated around. Like I didn't play any sports in high school.
Did you want to be prom king? Did you go through the whole thing, or were you just elected?
Yeah, no, yeah. I remember they had like top 10, and I was in the top 10, and I was like, cool, like I'm down to be prom king, like whatever, like that's cool. And I ended up going to prom, and we were drinking in the parking lot, and
of course,
stuff like that. Yeah.
There's a prom king.
Yeah,
yeah, and I mean, I just I was friends with I had like my core group of friends, but I was friends with like all the jock dudes, all the. I said hi to everybody, like all the girls. Like I was a ladies' man in high school. I was just trying to go out for the ladies. Yeah,
right.
So yeah, man. And that's when I was in bands and stuff. So it was like we would just ditch school and go practice.
What would you say, like your respective friends in high school when you guys were graduating? Because you always kind of think of it like when you're graduating, you go like, oh, you look at somebody you're graduating, and you're like, oh, they're going to become that. Oh, they're going to do that. They're going to, like, you just kind of have this idea in your head of what your friends are going to, where they're going to go maybe. And what were your friends, you think, saying about you two? Like, what do you think they thought?
I don't know, because, it was kind of a weird thing when I quit. So my first band, like the band I was in, As the Floodwaters Rose, became The Autobiography. Okay. We just changed names, kind of the same members. But we, and like when I quit that band, I literally lost like all my friends at once. It was kind of crazy, minus Eric, our drummer now. And I just was hanging out with Kyle, and yeah, all my friends that I had were just like super mad at me. And when we put up our first songs, and it got like 800 plays on the first day on MySpace, we were like, whoa, this is crazy. And our friends were, I don't know if it was jealousy or they just hated the music, whatever it was just bad. And so, I talked to maybe like 2 people from high school still, and 2 people from, since literally that happened, that second, I haven't talked to any of those dudes since.
And you graduated what year?
2007.
And so they still are not talking to you?
Yeah.
After all this time?
Yeah.
Whoa, the Denver scene's tough. Man.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We had this thing, we were like, we were all like, we're going to get tatted. We're going to be in bands forever. We're going to do our thing. And everyone, no one did it, kind of except for me, I guess. And it's like, I don't know why you guys are mad at me. I'm the only one that stuck true to our words, like regardless if it was in the band with you or not. Because, when we started this, it was just fun because there was so much stupid stress with our old bands that it was just like, I need an escape from this. It's not fun anymore. And so we didn't even have a name. We had like 5 songs that we had just messed around with. And on our friend's computer, he wouldn't let us use it, so he'd go to work and we'd sneak on his computer.
And we'd mix fast.
And I'd make songs and I'd hide them. I'd hide them in a folder where he couldn't find them, because if he found them, he'd be pissed. And the one time I took them all off.
What did you name the folder? Because you got to name it something.
Those are the original
Mom's
recordings
recipes
of Birds and the Bees, and
the original
put some
recordings,
like our first songs.
And it sucks because
they disappeared. We ended up having to reconstruct Birds and the Bees so we could play it live.
He ended up finding them, and luckily we had already put them online, but he erased them all. So when we wanted to go play shows, I had to recreate the songs. Like
we didn't even know how we were going to start playing shows. We got invited to play a show from our friend Nick. We're like, how do we even do this like this? Like, because we
played guitar. I never did any of that.
Completely backwards. We went, instead of sitting with instruments and writing a song, we literally had the song already recorded, and it was like, I think that was the most fun part about it, was that it was so instant, and that's why I think that that spark that you were talking about was that we created something in one day and we had so much fun doing it, and that was that light that we were looking for. That like, this is so
effortless.
This is so much fun. Like, we created a whole, and Dee produced the whole thing. The whole first record is Classic Not Classic. David produced, mixed, everything. We just had it mastered, and Craig from Rise put it out. He wanted to put it out. So.
But we jumped a little bit there. So
Yeah.
how do you go from, we put it out on MySpace. Most of my friends won't talk to me, but we get these hits, we get all these plays, and then all of a sudden Craig from Rise discovers you. What's in that middle part?
It was like 6 months after we'd kind of put music out, and I was living at Eric, our drummer's house. His dad is like one of the coolest dudes ever. He has a big ass house in Broomfield. So I was living there, and one night we were just drinking, and we were really good. Are still good friends with the Drop Dead Gorgeous guys. They're from Denver as well, and they were managed by the Artery Foundation. And I think, when they got signed and did that, it was like I wanted to do everything that they did, just because it's like, oh, they did it right. They were the first band that I knew that had gotten signed, and I thought, like, yo, when you get signed, you're instantly okay for the rest of your life, And so it was one night drinking late, and we were at the point where we were getting a couple thousand plays a day, and
we had some sold out shows in Denver too.
We hit up Artery, and I just drunk, and I was like, yo, man, like, we love it if you could work with us. Like, we've played 3 shows and they've all been sold out, and this is our MySpace. Check us out. Let me know.
Tough Enough. That was the
was the subject. Yeah, and
just wanted to tour. That's what we say. Yeah.
He wrote us back and was like, yeah, I would love it. I would love to manage you guys. He's like, I've been actually looking at you guys, and we were like blown away, just like wow. And then. So one night we were chilling like super late, and he had like emailed me or called or something, and I was like, yeah, he's like, the first contract came through, and we were like, what do you mean? He's like, record deal. I was like, we were
tripping
on the moon, dude. We were like, wow. We thought it was, and we were like, yo, let's sign it. I don't even care what it says. Let's sign it right now. Let's go. Let's go.
Famous last words.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was like, whoa, slow down, guys.
Right.
He's like, there's more coming through. And I was like, what do you mean? And then it was like, Equal Vision was hitting us up, and Fueled by Ramen was hitting us up,
just
and
talking to everybody, and
at
least like making our introductions.
What did they see? Like, what do you think that they saw in you guys?
I think they just, what I saw in us was like, I've never heard music like this before. Obviously everyone knows like techno music and stuff like that, but the way that we wrote the songs, and the way that, because we were in bands, so it was like, I think we wrote like techno songs in like a classic punk rock, pop punk formation.
And they had this anthemic vision to them, almost.
We were bright-eyed, man, and I think that they saw that. I don't really know what it was, but it was just insane to us that we were like, we've been, in our other bands, I did like 2 tours with my other band, and we played shows to literally the sound dude and some drunk guy at the bar, like, and so it was, playing shows where kids recognized us, and getting a record deal was just crazy to us.
Do you remember your first autograph? Like, not the autograph of like your friend, but like where that person, you don't know them, and they've found you. Like,
I'm not sure if I remember the first autograph, but I do remember like the first picture. It was our very first show we ever played, and we were just.
Where was that?
This place called Live Spot in Denver. It's not there anymore, but it's a small like.
Do you remember the date? What's your anniversary date?
I have a flyer.
It was June.
Flyer
it was like
somewhere.
June 17th or something like that. I think it was
2008.
Yeah.
07.
That would have been
08, right?
That would have been 2007.
Oh, 2007. Okay, yeah.
Because we put our first song up March 7th, because that was my brother's birthday. And then we played some shows. I think you're right.
What was the
Like
first
right in
song?
summer.
Which one was that?
The first song was the first song we ever posted was snowed in, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a humongous blizzard in Denver, and we were, the only thing that was open was a liquor store. So we walked, and like literally it was like 4 feet of snow, man. Like,
It was crazy.
we walked to the liquor store.
I don't even. Did we even call the place, or we just went there?
I think we just went.
I can't believe
That's what you do when you're young, man. You just we don't care. We're invincible.
We were at home and we were snowed in, and we lived in this little tiny house, and it was gross. Like, we smoked cigs in there and stuff. Like,
It's crazy.
It was gross, and yeah, I sat down on the computer and I was like, "Yo, we're bored. Let's make a song." And we started out being like, there was like 5 of us there, like all kind of working on it together. I was like programming everything, but everyone was kind of just chilling. After a couple hours, I looked around and it was just me and Kyle. Everyone had kind of just gone off because we were just so in the zone with each other that like someone else would say something and we would just not pay attention to them at all. So yeah, it snowed in, but
My favorite dinosaur, dude. MySpace.com.
Yeah.
That's my favorite dinosaur.
it's
That's where it's at. I think it's still there.
it was crazy. But then, you know, after that, I had a couple other songs that I had just sang on, like no screaming, no other vocals, just me. I didn't even know what I was doing. I never sang before, so. And I had like taken out some of my vocals, and I was like, Kyle, like, just have fun on this, like scream or something. I don't know, like, and he did it. But back to the original question was the signing thing. It was, I remember pulling
Actually, what was the first show? That was the middle question on that one.
Yeah.
Wait,
June.
You said March
something.
7th was your brother's birthday. It was the first song
It
came
had to
out.
be- I think it
which
was in
was
June.
that was snowed in. It was the first song.
2007.
No, Don't Forget Lock the Doors.
was the first
March
one. Was the
7th
first
one.
track
Okay,
that we
7th.
posted.
And then June, it was the middle of June sometime with our first show. And I remember we were just pulling up in a car. We had these 2 girls that were working with us. One girl was playing keys, and the other girl was helping us do lights
Jess and
or
Laura, yeah.
something like that. And pulled up, and, you know, we're carrying our shit into the venue, and like these kids start kind of freaking out. And I was like, I'm weirded out right now. Like, this is crazy. And
Hello?
they came up and wanted a picture, and I had never gotten that before. And I was just like, wow, like, that's crazy. And, you know, our very first show is Breathe Carolina. Like, the kids were all singing every word and like jumping and going crazy. And
How many songs did you actually have by that point? Like, how long was your set?
I think we had 5 or
20 minutes,
6,
25
20
minutes
minutes?
max. Yeah.
Warped Tour set.
Yeah, we literally had like
I think it
5
was-
songs.
Put Some Clothes On, Don't Forget Lock the Door, Birds and the Bees, Diamonds, and what else would we have had at that time? Maybe That's Classy,
No, That's Classy, I think came a
came
little bit
later.
later. Yeah.
because that came after we had the keyboard, after
Yeah.
we got the synthesizer.
And it was wild. It was just something
I
that's
don't
like
even know what the 5th would be.
hit me like a
Sick.
How much you
Yeah.
get paid for that gig? You remember?
$50 probably. Sold like $100 in merch.
Do you remember what you did afterwards?
Sold our merch out, and
Yeah,
we sat there and we were like,
we were
yes.
actually we were partying afterwards, because actually Eric's dad, like our drummer who I lived with, his dad was out of town. And so we're like, yo, let's go back to Eric's house. So all of our friends came back, and we were on top of the world. We were like, yo, we sold like $300 in merch. We just killed it.
And that's like all we had.
We just killed it. And I was dead broke, dude. Didn't have a dime.
Yeah,
we were so poor, like so broke, that we found $20 on the floor of like an Albertsons or something. We were walking through, and we were like,
Step on it, dude. Step on it, bro.
yeah, step on it, step on it, step on it.
We bolted straight to Chipotle,
Snag it,
man.
and we got food.
we were running out of there. Yes, we're literally like eating like the stuff that just sits in your
the
cabinet.
fridge.
Like that was our dinner. Like
It
we
was rough, man. We didn't like, because we were just out on our own, and like, we could have gone back home, but we were like, no, man, like, dude, there was a time probably for like a month and a half where me and Eric, our drummer, lived with Jess and Laura, those 2 girls, and dude, we were dead poor. Me and Eric would go outside and like pick up change off the ground and go get like a soda. Like they had pickles in their fridge, and that was it. So there'd be like some days where all we'd have is like 2 pickles a day, like to eat, and it was crazy. Like, and so when we played our first show and we just made $400, we were like, wow, this is it, And I think just that little bit pushed us to like just go hard. You know, like, yo, like we can do this kind of, you know, if we really, really try, like might have a shot at something.
Because at the time, weren't like your parents or like one of your parents was like kind of like, you know, when are you going to get real about this? Like any of that?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And my dad, I mean, I was 21, about to be 22, coming up around the time we first started touring, and I think my dad was like, you know, when are you gonna figure out? You got to figure out what you want to do. You know, you gotta think about, you know, what's a hobby and what's gonna help you survive and you know, grow into a man, basically. And I think I just felt like I knew what I had to try for, and just kept pushing it.
Was there ever a time in your that especially in the beginning and up to that point where you were getting signed, that you guys were literally like inches from stopping? I mean, because you're sitting there eating 2 pickles a day. It's at some point or another, you do that long enough, and you're like,
you know, I think
because when you were working at Guitar Center at some point, weren't you?
You were.
I was.
You
yeah.
were. That's right.
And like, I've just never been good with jobs. Like, I've had like 4 jobs, you know, before we started touring, and I just was like, dude, this just isn't me. Like, I'm not, like, I know work sucks. Everyone says work sucks, but it was something to me that was so wrong about what I was doing. And so like every job I'd quit within a month. Like Guitar Center, I went on lunch break and never went back. Never called them, never, nothing. I was just, I'm out of here. And I was living on my own. I was living downtown, and I don't even know how I survived, because that was even before BC started. So I don't even know how I paid rent. Like, I have no idea. And, you know, there was a time where I think it was like a couple months, like 5 months afterwards, and, you know, there was such a huge hype like right away when the songs came out, and then it kind of started to like slow down in a weird way. And I was like, yeah, well, maybe like, you know, I'll go to college or something. And I talked to my mom about it, and she was like, no. She's like, I'm not going to help you. She's like, you wait 6 more months, and if you're still feeling this way, then I'll go help you. But right now, I'm not going to help you, just because, you know, my mom's just seen something in me. And sure enough, you know, 6 months later, we were on the road and never went back.
So now you got these offers coming in from these labels, and so what kind of tipped you over into the Rise deal versus the others?
It was a lot of our manager.
Because at the time, Rise was kind of coming up.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it was a lot of our manager. He was like, you know, because Rise just offered us a really good deal. It was just one record, 50-50. And, you know, like, I think, like, the other deals were kind of, like, janking us around.
Pretty much
and
long term. Right.
Pretty much the classic.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
3-4 deals, records.
And so we were
options.
like, you know, we'll just do our manager's like, this is the smartest move for you guys. So we were like, cool, like we don't know, so we'll trust you and go with it. And, you know, sure enough, we put out the record, and for our first,
was that the EP, the official EP, or was that the first
that
record?
was-
So
yeah,
actually,
it's
it actually was the record, right? Because you put out the EP before that, right?
yeah,
Okay.
it's classy, not classic.
Right.
And you know, ended up doing surprisingly pretty good. You know, we didn't really know what to think, and we were just on tour. And after that, we were on tour with this band called Panama at the time, and their tour manager is this guy Shervon, and he ended up started getting a job at Fearless. And so, and he loved us, you know, and we're still homies with him to this day. But he brought us up to Bob, and Bob was really unsure about us. Like he told me right in my face.
The head of Fearless, president of Fearless.
President of
Bob
Fearless. He,
yeah.
you know, he was like, I'm not 100% on this decision, but I was like, I'm gonna trust Shervon, and I'm gonna give you guys a shot. So we were like, all right.
We were nervous.
You know, so we went.
We were playing
straight from that to,
because that was House of Blues in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It was the first time he came and watched us, and he was very
before
kind
the
of
set. He
standoffish
was
in the beginning.
Standoffish. The only thing he said to me was, "I'm not sure about you guys. We'll see what happens." And after the set, he was freaking out. He was like, "I'm buying you guys shots. Let's go." I wasn't even 21 yet. Like
We were hanging.
He was like, "I'm so excited!" Like, and
His brother's there with the visor wig combo, being all crazy, coming out yelling, Doogie Howser, fuck me, man. I guess Neil Patrick Harris is in upstairs like foundation room, and his Bob Becker's brother is over there like harassing him, got kicked out, and he's just yelling like. But he's got this. Have you seen the visor wig combo? Mm-hmm. Oh my! It was like he had Billy Idol hair, like super blonde, like coming out the top of his visor, and that was the first time I ever seen it. And he takes it off, and we all hit the floor, dude. Like, what is this? We're all putting it on, wearing it. Dude. Like, dude, we were, oh man! If you just gotta see Bob Becker's brother, and you'll die laughing. He is ridiculous.
So the first record. Why don't we do this? We're gonna take a music break, and then we're gonna come back because I want to talk about that first record. So why don't you guys give me each a band and a song by that band, for each of you, that was kind of your anthem in high school? Was that song that was your song? It was either went in the car, you put it on, I don't know, back then you put it on your iPod, whatever, like, yeah. Like,
Newfound Glory, hit or miss.
I think mine was, I think this is the song that honestly like changed my life and outlook on music. It's Taking Back Sunday, Great Romances of the 20th Century, because it was on the Warped Tour compilation. And I got the Warped Tour comp, and I heard that song, and I was like, whew, game over. I went and bought that record and, totally switched my mindset.
Why the Newfound Glory song? Why that one? Why
just
hit or miss?
Feels like summer to me. I just put it in my car, and I listened to the whole record, but I think that record just really has a certain feeling, and it's definitely a definitive time in my life for sure.
Okay.
This record has been playing since the day you've been with
first record, how did you? I mean, obviously the first songs you guys were doing, it was a lot of holy wow, this is a lot of fun. But now you got to really sit down and you got to get into a studio and you got to sit down with a producer. And was let me see, Chris Schmitt, right?
Yeah, he mastered it. D actually did. We finished the record on tour. We were actually sitting in a hotel room in Louisiana, setting up the mic, and D's in there finishing all the little bits and pieces, and D produced the whole first. So
really, the first one was just you guys. It was just 100%, and just taking it in. And so, what did Rise do? Anything like look at the record and go, take that one out, take this one out,
no,
or nothing?
We gave them 10 songs, and they were, we love every song. Let's go. It was the weirdest thing because it was just like. Yeah, we were in a hotel room, and I had a couple songs I had to just kind of fix real quick and mix and
classify.
Sent it off, and our manager was like, "This is awesome." They were like, "This is awesome. Here's your release date. Let's go."
Yeah. Is there any material from that time period, like those sessions, so to speak, that's kind of still out there that's not finished yet? That your fans maybe just like those. Every band has those IMDb kind of fans, they always want to know the trivia. Is there any material from there still? It kind of just hasn't found a home yet.
I mean, we had this computer that after we kind of had enough money to buy a computer, that it's long gone now, but there's probably 180 random songs that we had started
the cheese is in the back of our van in Denver just hurting.
Yeah.
She's in pain.
I'm really interested to see if I could get that computer to work again and listen to it.
Well, in this day and age, there's someplace on this planet can get anything to work again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've got something. What about, this is just in general, but is there a place somewhere in this country, like, I don't know, the back of a bar, a diner, a coffee shop, wherever it's like that you guys like wrote, came together, you had one of those moments maybe, or you just something materialized so that if your fans go there, they go, this is where this was written. Like this is where it came to life.
I think that'd be the greenhouse.
Yeah. Where
that was where BC was born.
It was this little tiny room because I was living with two of my friends, and one of them moved in actually to this house that Kyle was living in. And I was like, well, I got to go too. So they had this little tiny little room, barely fit a couch and the computer, and that was my room. And
had a little bathroom in there.
They had a tiny little bathroom, and that's where everything started. It was one morning I woke up like super early, and I was just messing around making this song, and I was like, Kyle, come in here. And we stayed there all day, and we were having a party at our house that night. It was like a Saturday or something. And that's when we Put Some Clothes On. It was our first time like really writing a BC song. And we were in there all day, and soon enough it was like 10 o'clock and people started showing up, and we were still like in our pajamas, like we didn't even realize the time had gone by.
Like, oh yeah, people are coming over.
Oh
here.
wow.
We were getting dressed.
And so that room in that house in downtown Denver would be the place of
Alameda and Sherman.
Yeah.
So what did you how did you feel when you got the first record back? Were you just completely, utterly ecstatic, or were you guys kind of hard on yourselves at all? Kind of like, oh, like should have done or take backs?
I think I didn't really feel any of that until the Hello Fascination, because that was the time where it was like, okay, because that was the first time we went into a studio with the producer, and it was, the first time we worked with the producer was Matt Squire, and I have looked up to him for, years. He did like the Panic record and the North Star record, some of my favorite albums, and so it was crazy. I was like, oh God, like I was so nervous when I went in, and like we kind of wrote the first couple melodies to this song. I went in to sing them, and I was so nervous, like my voice was shaking. He was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, yeah, dude, I'm cool. Like, I was just so scared because I'd never experienced that, And so, and at that point, we were on the bigger label, on Fearless. we were with producers, and I was like, I feel like, you know, everyone's eyes are going to be on us right now. And, you know, so getting the songs back, I was like, I don't know if they're good or not. You know, like, I think they sound awesome, but then again, what if maybe they don't? And so I really didn't feel any of that until the second record, for sure.
What was crazy doing Hello Fascination too was there was no B-sides at all during that record. Everything that we went in and did, we finalized, and that was that's what was on the record. We did 3 songs in a week with Matt. We jumped straight from that to Mike Green, who did Paramore's record. He did, you know, countless stuff, and it was, you know, we had our month with Mike and caked the record out. Every single track we started, we finished. And you know, it was funny that IDGAF ended up being the last track that we did, and that was kind of how it kind of came about. Like, yo, what do you want to do now? It was just like, I don't give a fuck, and it was just like we just laughed. We sat back and just laughed, and we still play the song live. You know, it's the little tiny things that really make it interesting. And you know, even with that record, we had Jeffrey come, and Austin from My Some Austin Carlisle came, and our boy Dave from Ev Ave, and we all did a song together, and that was a special time. And just, it's crazy that, you know, we're still friends with everybody after all these years. It's so cool.
Is there anything from that record that you are? No, actually, let me ask this. What did you learn being in the studio with a producer that you didn't know on that record? What were the lessons learned?
You know, I think it was really thinking about what you're doing. And in a sense, that could be bad, because then you overthink, which that, you know, that's got me jaded, you know, even to this day. It's like you overthink things. And when we first started, we didn't think, we just did. So
what sort of things do you guys think of when you're overthinking?
Well, it's like, you know, like you'll hear a melody and you're like, that's awesome. But then it's like, you just dive into it too much. You're like, well, what if we did this? And then after a while, you've messed with it so much that you've lost the original idea, and you're like, okay, what are we doing?
You put too much paint on the canvas, and now it's just back to being purple, you know?
And, you know, you know, on the other side, it's a good thing too, because it's like, you know, you can really, it makes you work harder. You really like dig into yourself and dig into the song to find what is necessary for it, you know? So it's definitely a give and take thing, and you have to learn to let go a lot. Especially like in that, you know, like when we were with Mike Green, like he's very smart. He's like a super, just not even with music, he's just a smart guy. And
his music theory is through the roof.
He made us work so hard, like harder than ever. It was 12 hours every day, hour lunch break, that's it. It was like going to work, you know? And, you know, he made us sit in the booth until we got it right. Like, no auto-tune, no fixing it. Like, you have to just do it. And, you know, taught us a lot. It was cool being like, you know, wow, like, we can really do this, you know, like this is awesome.
Do you think that you guys, would you say that you matured more, like you grew more as musicians,
most
as singers
definitely.
On that particular record?
Mm-hmm.
What did you, what sort of side of you, because I think a lot of beginning musicians need to hear this stuff. They never get to hear this stuff. And so it's not to make you guys at all look bad or anything. It's to kind of like express the lessons. Mm-hmm, but you're shedding your skin, and you're kind of molting into a new level of a musician. Yeah. So what did you shed out of the studios that month? Like what were that time period when you're making that record?
You know, I think a lot of it was, you know, how to correctly sing, and how to, you know, going in with these people and really being with a coach for the first time. You know, that was always interesting. You know, and we've been coached by a lot of different people, and you know, I think when we did with Melissa Cross, and that was like the one person I wanted to have coach me. You know, she did the whole Zen of screaming and taught like all of our idols, you know. And I think that was like the thing, you know, going back and really just focusing on how we sound and what you know, these little tiny details of what are we, you know, especially with Hello Fascination, that was the first time D got to have his guitar background and musical background come to life on the record, and we didn't have guitars and stuff. We didn't have, exactly.
And in the first record, it was like, we would sing whatever and just blast the auto tune and blast the effects. So it didn't matter how we did it. Hello taught us like, okay, we need to really do this right now. Like,
every word counts. Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest lesson for us, was just like realizing what it takes, what you have to do to, and Hello is, humongous for us as a band. It was game changing. It was life changing.
That song still is living.
Not even for anybody else, but for us personally, and really shaped us into now when we go into studios. Like, we're not scared, we're not nervous. We're like, we've gone through it all. So,
sure,
confidence.
Sure. So when was the first time you guys traveled out of the country?
Out of the country would have been
UK, right?
UK,
2009.
That was that Slam Dunk and all that? Would that have been the first?
The first time was, I think it was 2009.
Okay.
We went over there and we just did some club shows, and it was actually really sick. Like, Manchester, I remember that show a lot because we were playing and my pants had ripped at the seams all the way down to like my foot. And I didn't realize it at first. And someone was like pointing at me, and I was like, "What, dude? Like, what do you mean? I'm just doing my thing." And I was just like, "Oh shit!" Good thing I was wearing underwear that day. Right. But and that show was that it was. I mean, probably like only 400 kids, but to us, like in another country, 400 kids is like 25,000 people. You know what I mean? So I believe it was 2009. It was the first time.
So when you when it came back in the end, let's just say this, for Hello Fascination, which is a song that you feel is the best representative of that record? Like, is your favorite song off that record? Critics and fans can have theirs, but what's yours?
I mean, the obvious choice would be Hello Fascination, just because that song was the first time anyone has heard BC with guitars and kind of the full band aspect. But the last song, Rescue, is kind of just about, the whole, just our lives in general, being away and touring and stuff like that. 'Cause it's not a normal lifestyle, you know what I mean? You definitely have to be a certain kind of person to live like that, to live like this. And
what kind of person is that? Sorry to interrupt, but I'm just curious.
I mean,
thick-skinned for sure.
I've been
really.
I've been saying that a lot. Like it's like, even like when my girlfriend comes out, like her first time on the tour bus was a couple months ago, and she was just like, after 5 days, she's like, I don't get it. I don't know how you guys do this. And I'm like, this is all I know. This is all we know. And I think when you have that drive, like that certain drive, it's like you go through whatever you want. When we first started, there was, 9 of us in a van with all of our equipment, all of our merch, no trailer, all slept on one Motel 6 floor. And nothing mattered though. Like, it didn't matter how shitty things were. It was like, all of us had $5 a day to go get food. That was it. We didn't care though. We still always had alcohol for some reason. I don't know how that happened.
We had no idea.
But if we wanted to smoke weed, we had it. Like, it was, it was
the big Carlo Rossi jug of blush, just pass it around till it's gone, man.
Yeah. and like, I feel like it's that kind of person that you don't care what's going on because you have a bigger vision. Because, a lot of people will be like, I can't live like this. I can't be sweaty around 9 dudes in a van with a pile of merch sitting on top of me for a 9-hour drive every day. Like, you know what I mean? But nothing mattered to us. And, anybody that tours is the same way. You know what I mean? It's not just us. It's just touring in general. It's, you gotta be slightly out of your mind, but extremely passionate.
Yeah. I mean, you're away from everything that you built at home. You leave and you go and you start recreating. You
give up on everything that you have except for that one thing. tarnish relationships, you know, and especially when we started, like we were so young, we were all like 18, 19 that, you know, now it's much easier to be on the road and have a relationship just because we've grown up a lot, you know, we're not out trying to go party and hang with girls every night and stuff like that. So it's like, I mean, we still party, don't get me wrong. But, you know what I mean? It's just, you gotta have that certain blood in you to do it, I think.
Okay.
Anyone can have it. You just have to build yourself up that way. You know what I mean?
So you were saying thick skin. I mean, are you basically referring to the internet, or are you talking about life?
I think just life, you know, I think just really like, we call it the BC curse, but it's, you go through literally anything that can happen will happen, and it does, you know, I think it's, for us, we say we get to do the coolest things ever, so we have to deal with, like, we have to have bad things happen here and there, you know. For instance, we did a show in Helsinki, in Finland, and our flight got delayed, and we were like, the show was, I think it was sold out.
Yeah,
it you know, 1,000 kids, and we were headlining, and we were freaking out like, this is the, you know, we're saving the best for last. Like, our whole tour was just kind of whatever, and that just, it was, ended up, we were sleeping in the airport forever because somebody, I guess a flight attendant got sick, so they had to wait for another person to fill the spot, and finally get out. We do our layover, still, you know, missed that flight from our other layover, so that was even more delayed to get to the next one. Landed in Helsinki, driving over. Kids are already there. They were waiting like
for 4 hours for us, just in the venue, just sitting in the venue,
just sitting there.
No music, nothing.
We couldn't see the kids. There was a curtain up, so when we walked in, we walked through the back. We couldn't see how many people were there still, and those curtains opened up, and it was just chaos. And we're like, this is what the curse is. It sucks at the time, but the icing is the sweetest you've ever had. So.
Yeah.
What was the time that you guys almost died on the road?
Actually, Ella driving.
We our boy Josh, he was on tour with us, and he's from California, so he doesn't know how to drive in the snow, and he's driving through I-70 in Colorado in the snow, and it's one of the sketchiest drives you can make, van and trailer, and we were all sleeping. He was just driving. I wake up, he's going like 75 down, and there was snow and ice everywhere. I'm like, crazy. Dude, whoa, bro, what are you doing? I was like, don't like pump the brakes, don't slam them, just give him like a tiny squeeze here and there to slow us down. And I think he just fucking rammed his foot on it. And we all of a sudden start going sideways. Our van and trailer was like this, going down the highway.
Nice L shape, right?
Yeah. And we were all bracing for impact. We were like, we're going down. Like, it was insane. And I don't know what happened, but...
I'm sitting in the front. There's no seatbelt, because the seatbelt like got stuck in the buckle. So
we had to cut it with scissors.
We cut it off because like nobody could sit there. So I'm sitting in the front, and I wake up, and I just reach over with my left hand, and I'm just like kind of guiding it. And it's because, you know, we're fishtailing back and forth. And I'm just sitting there trying to be all calm. We got it. And just ended up getting out of it. But we just sat there like, I was like, pull over, dude.
Yeah, like, you're getting out of here.
Bro, I'm getting it.
He's like, what, dude? He was like, what do you mean, bro? I'm just driving. I'm like, dude, but there's ice and snow. You don't understand that you can't go 7. Even, you know, on a regular road, 75 with a van and trailer is just kind of sketch. You know
what's crazy with Ella, though, is the time our transmission went out, and he was the one driving it, too. So it's crazy. Like, Ella has definitely, like, Manny the van. Ella has lived some memories with that.
We actually
bless your heart, Ella.
We actually had an instance on this tour. Our driver was driving, and someone was coming down the wrong way on the highway, like trying to like play chicken with him, and so he would get over, and they would get over, like, and so at the last minute, like, he just swerved, and he's been driving buses for 30 years, so he's a great driver, you know, luckily, and.
Somebody have a
suicidal
the whole bus packed?
I have no idea. The whole bus flew, like, Eric, our drummer, flew from literally the bunk hallway into the the driver's section of the bus.
Whoa.
We caught him. We're like, because we're all sitting in the benches, but he was standing in a hallway and came all the way up.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
We
good
ended
12, 13 feet there.
I didn't hear, somebody was saying something that guy did end up hitting somebody.
Yeah, and he hit somebody, and the person died, actually. Right after he passed us, Zeus, our bus driver, was telling us that. And I was just like, dude.
Wow.
Like, he saved our lives. And it was the first day that he picked us up.
Yeah.
Wow. So we're cutting through all these stories. So we were talking about the song that you liked best on that record. Which is the song that you would probably change a little bit now?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Honestly, now, like, if you would have asked me that maybe like 5 months after the record came out, I probably would have said a song. But now I just think, it's just done its thing. It just took the course that it was supposed to take. And I'm a huge believer in that kind of stuff. It's like the path that you're on, you obviously have an option to make better or worse, but you're on that path for a reason.
Sure.
So,
You know what's weird is the songs that I feel like we weren't as fond of ended up being the tracks that our kids like the most. And
Yeah.
I think it's cool that
and
way.
that's what makes you jaded in the studio. It's like, well, I don't even like this, but everyone's freaking out about it, so I'm obviously wrong.
I guess it's just that lesson of just let it live, let it be its own personality. It's like you raising a kid, you can't control it, just let it do its thing.
It's very true. Not a lot of parents know that. Okay, well let's take another music break here, and we can include, even though we haven't talked about it yet, but you can include "Hell Is What You Make It" as well on this. What's the song that maybe you're most proud of? Like maybe you guys just put the most effort into that thing, and it was biggest pain in the ass, but in the end it came out, and you're just still this day, like, even if the fans don't like it, you're still like, that's the song. That's it.
I think honestly it's Blackout for me, just because that song was, in our heads, never meant to do anything else besides be on the record. It was, we wrote that song, the first song we wrote for Hell's What You Make It,
Because it's like
Blackout.
the last song on the record, isn't it?
No, it's
Is it second or third?
second, third.
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think it is track.
Because when I got when I got it off of iTunes, all the tracks were all messed up. That's why. Okay.
And like we wrote that song, the first song we wrote for the record, we wrote it in like 6 hours, and it was just done. And we had no intention of radio. We didn't even think that was a possibility. And after a minute, like, the label was like, like, the more we listen to this song, like, this has a lot of potential. Like, it could actually do something cool. And it went, and it, that song took us to places that, playing with Pitbull and playing with,
right.
Like, it's like we did a whole arena radio tour in last December. And, we were playing for 25,000 people in an arena, and because of that song, I think it really took us into a whole different level of being a band. Like, it was, blew us all away. We had no idea that was going to happen at all, and yeah, probably Blackout for sure.
Cut up and I can feel my hands. No need to chase. Can you relate? Can you keep up the pace like you're dying for this? And when you say I'm not okay, I let my flow in the cab. Now you can't get mad. I'm only getting started. I won't black out. It's not my kind of thing. Let's go a little harder. I won't black out. I'm on my way. I'm only getting started. And I can see your face. Cigarette the wrong way. Inhale to the top of my lungs. I've been dying
couple of us are doing the insanity workout. So we're all like, we're on day 42, which is awesome. But
That's great.
yeah, but like we started a new like section of it. So it's like we were sore as hell for the first 2 weeks, and then we got over being sore. But now we're doing new things, and now we're sore again. So it's just like so annoying. I thought we were done being sore for the first 2 weeks. I couldn't even sit down. Like I was just so sore. And now
How are you doing it when you're out? You know, you're out like almost every night. You're hanging out and drinking and stuff like that, and then you're trying to get up the next day. Like, what time of day are you doing the insanity? Is it after the show?
No, I'm doing it like 3:30ish.
Okay, so you're up.
So we, you know, I don't have anything to do for the whole day, so it's like I sleep till like 2, just because what else am I gonna do? You know what I mean? So, you know, I sleep till like 2, wake up, hit the insanity, do the workout, do the meet and greet, play the show, and then do my thing afterwards. It's crazy, but it's cool because it's like we're all super pumped to do it. So it's kind of like and I've never worked out in my life. So it's kind of like a new thing for us to like be passionate about, which is cool. And I feel like you need that on the road sometimes, because it's like, it's easy to lose your passion when you're doing the same thing every single day. And so it's cool, like doing that. It's like a whole new thing to our day now.
Which is awesome. There's so many artists that are really focused on staying in shape, and not just necessarily for vanity purposes or things like that, because they have to for their fans, but it's because this actually seems to be a more of a movement to kind of just take better care of yourself in general.
And it's nice, dude. It clears my mind so much. Like if I'm stressed about something, like, you know, even if I'm hungover, I'll do it, and I don't feel hungover when I'm done. Like I sweat it all out.
I'm surprised you're doing it hungover. I don't know how you do insanity hungover. We're talking about insanity.
It's
do you do it just a little slower, or
no? It's weird. Like it's weird because at first I'll be like, oh, like we'll start the warm up, and I'm like, dude, I'm hungover, bro. This sucks. And then halfway through, I have like this weird new energy, like, and by the end, I'm like, cool, we're good. It's
turned on and going.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So okay, so when you were going into Hell Is What You Make It, what did you have any objectives at that point? Like you did your first official studio record, and now you're doing strong, you're growing definitely, and now you're going to work on this one. Was there any sort of goal? Was there any sort of like, you know?
I think we really wanted to bring back kind of like some of the old BC sounds, you know, because like for How's What You Make It, you know, like I said, there wasn't like a lot of like vocal production. It was just kind of like really natural. And so we were like, yo, for this record, like let's have some cool like auto-tune parts, you know, just because that, you know, it's really cool when it's used the right way in certain circumstances, you know. And so I think we wanted to bring that back a little bit. That was definitely on the list of our goals.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we wanted to define our sound a little bit more, but collabing the first and the second in a way that now we have a whole new progression to who we are, and I think that was definitely a goal as we went. I definitely listened to us a lot during that time, and listening to the first record and listening to Hello and what did I do? You know, what would I do differently? And you know, I think we still do that.
Were you being influenced at all by the people, your detractors, like the internet voices and stuff like that? Were you starting to kind of feel like you were making decisions at all in your career based upon the criticism, whether it was just flippant, unwarranted stuff or not?
You know,
No. I was thinking about it.
I think, and it's weird that I remember this. I remember this to this day. Is when we put out "Hello Fascination," the single. I was reading comments. Everyone was pretty pumped, and you know, there's some kids that were weird. And I remember just one comment that was like, "I miss Breathe Carolina talking about partying and being drunk and having a good time," and like it just stuck with me. So I think like that's how Blackout kind of came to be. Is you know, when like, let's just write a fun song, dude. Like we don't need to get deep. We don't need to get anything. Let's just write fun stuff. And you know, that night before that, we were out partying, and I literally left my phone in the cab, and I was like, let's just say that. Like, who cares? Like, we were just having fun, you know. And
all the details Ian liked to nitpick, and we forced him to keep them.
Yeah, he didn't,
and that was one of them.
he didn't like that part, and we forced him. We're like, dude, just leave it. He's like, no, we need to
Think about it.
Think about it. I'm like, no, dude, just
It's
leave
funny.
it.
It's raw. It's real. You know what's funny is this. One of our friends was talking about they got in a cab in New York, and the track came on, and the cab driver was singing it, and he's like, yeah, I hear this song all the time. I listen to the radio all the time. And we're like, oh, what? Like hearing the story, but he was like, the phone in the cab, you know. I'm sure that he's lived that so much, and that probably stuck with him. But I never really thought about it in the opposite context of the actual cab driver, like how much that probably is so right on for him.
So you're working with, you know, Mike Green and Matt Squire, and you worked really intensely, I believe, with Ian on that record. So how do you learn to compromise? And how do you not get to that point where do you have to pull the card out where you're like, I know you really want that lyric. I really want my version of the lyric. I'm the artist. And you throw that card down.
You know, sometimes, but I think a lot of it is really, we try everything, and then we all know exactly which dart to pick, you know.
We're definitely
this is the right colored balloons.
Very open. So it's like, you know, if the band is feeling one thing and Ian's feeling something else, there's a huge amount of respect that goes both ways. And it's like, you know, he's a producer and successful for a reason. So it's like, all right, well, let's do your thing and see how we feel. So yeah, like we'll literally try everything. We'll literally do like sing like 10 different verses sometimes, I feel like, you know, just to kind of get the right one, and then we'll piece it together. And
I mean, Hit and Run went through so many different phases before it finally became what it is. And it's crazy. The song Bang It Out that we've been working on for the next record, and we actually did it the same time that we did Hit and Run, and same time that we did Riot, which is the new release that we just put out. We did 3 songs for free, and that was part of that, and Reaching for the Floor, which was on our re-release. So this song has stuck with us. It'll probably be 2 years old by the time it finally is released, and it's one of the favorites in from like, you know, the outside looking in of like, this song is so fun and it's going to do something, but it hasn't been perfect for us yet. There's something that it needs, and we've been fighting that song for 2 years, and it's gonna come out, but the face that it first started with and the face of the song when it's finally final is 2 totally different beasts. And it really is like, it's the process of how we look when we're first becoming a human being. You know, we look like a little weird blob of whatever, but now all of a sudden we look like everybody else standing around us. And you know, that's just kind of what the song does. It just evolves and evolves.
It's crazy. That song is such a pain in my ass because it's an awesome song, but there's just like, we listen to it and we're
Bang
like,
it out.
God, it's so good, but there's like, what is it? You know, we've had like a girl do like a feature on the bridge. You know, we've rewritten the chorus. We've changed the key. We've done everything. And I mean, obviously not everything because it's gonna be done, but it's just that song that is hassling us so bad. It's driving us crazy, man. Like, for 2 years we've been trying to make this song perfect, but
it will be.
It'll get there.
It's that good. It's worthy of the time for us, but what it will be like, We'll have to show you its faces sometime, Mike. We'll have to play you the first glimpse, and then it's progression.
That's the fascinating part, is when you can sit down with an artist and you can hear the different. When an artist sends me a demo, the first thing, and then I hear the second and the final one. It's just, that's the beauty. That's because that's where you see the artist coming doing their craft. You don't really get to see that a lot because we don't get to see you until here. But it's when you guys are creating is the most fascinating part, I think.
Yeah.
The experience, essentially, if I remember correctly, what ended up happening was Fearless signed a kind of an upstream kind of let's help us out with marketing and promote stuff with Columbia. And there was supposed to be a couple of bands that were involved in that, I believe. And so they did that with you guys, and Blackout went through their system and got pumped out through the major label system. And so I thought that was supposed to be a longer-term deal originally, wasn't that?
Yeah, but...
Because you were never really signed to Columbia, signed, were you?
Well, we
did a partnership deal with Fearless and Columbia.
Got it, okay.
And, we were, kind of told some stuff that wasn't necessarily happening and the whole thing. And so we asked to just leave Columbia and it was a process. So, that's why we were home for this last year is
John. Was that him?
John.
Remember you were asking me like who was our head?
I don't even remember our A&R at Columbia.
Because everybody when we first started working with them, we had a whole team. We knew it. We made our rounds. They would come out and hang out, and then everybody slowly started moving to other labels, and we were just kind of left like, who do we even work with anymore?
Yeah, we just had no idea, and it was.
I think that was the transition time. That's when we were like, we need help, and we went back to Bob and we said, yo, we need the family back. Like we need that around us to really start getting back in the groove, man. We want to start it back. The process has slowly been like, where are we? And we need it to be.
Did you feel like the machine was slowing down on you? Like your momentum was slowing down?
Yeah, exactly. Because they wouldn't say anything. Like we would send them songs, they're like, oh, okay, it's cool. But we're like, okay, well, what do you mean? Like,
no movement from it.
Yeah, there was no movement, and we were like, yo, we can't. They didn't understand us fully, like that's why, like I was telling you earlier, we were going to so many random writing sessions and different producers. Every day was a different producer for like 6 months, and we were just like, dude, it's not how we like to work. We're not just trying to give you a pop hit. We're trying to make our record. Like we don't care.
What do you think their objective was? So that
they wanted us to be LMFAO.
Okay.
They wanted us to be the new kind of LMFAO is what that's what they told all the producers and writers, and we're just like, that was never discussed with us. That's not who we are. You know what I mean? We're not. And it just got to a point where like we were trying to impress them so much and we couldn't, and it just was weighing so heavy, like it bummed us out. We were like, all right,
we'd be so excited about the tracks, like, man, like, how could this not be, like in our heads, like this is something next level for us, like, but then it would just be kind of like but nothing ever really said about it afterwards.
And being on our side, you guys have gone through that, and we've heard from so many countless musicians that have gone through that. They go into the major, and anything that they would have written, if they had written that song and put it out on the record label they were before, fans would have loved it, or it would have been well received, and so forth. But it goes up in that major, and all of a sudden the major's like, yeah, could you write about 70 more? And then we'll see what you got left out of that.
Yeah.
And so what do you think that thing is that they can't catch, that the artist feels that their fan base will catch? Is it an interpretation to a more Walmart audience, like a pop?
I think that there is such a formula to the track that they want. Like it's very like it's very just.
You guys are composers. What's the formula? How would you say is the formula?
They want a verse chorus small bridge chorus. It's like
under 3 minutes.
Under-
And there you go.
3.5 minute song, poppy, no intense subject matter, no thought really. And I'm not even talking trash on any kind of music at all, but it's like how we are as people is you know, we're deep people. Like we can't just write about going out and having a good time tonight in a song and make it a hit just because it's, you know, and that's the thing I think was so cool about Blackout was it was that, but in a sense it had a weirdness to it that wasn't like anything else. And
it kind of had like an indie electronic kind of thing to it going on, and so it didn't come across like as a
cheesy.
You would see like as a Katy Perry song or something like that, or whatever.
And you know we were just like after a while we were just like, yo, we don't. That's not our objective. Be on the radio. If we have another song that goes to radio, cool. If not, I don't care. It's like they didn't understand our fan base that we've already built for the past years. And this scene and this, like the Warped Tour scene, is a very passionate collective of kids, you know what I mean, that don't even care about the radio, you know what I mean? And those fans have held our you know, backs and had our backs for the past couple of years that we were like, we need to give back to them. Because this just isn't fair, you know.
So how do you think? How does a big company with the A&R reps, the few that they have left, so forth, sign a band like you guys and then not have any idea of your fan base, or do they just dismiss it and go, you know what? That's the beginning. We're going to take them to a whole new level. Yeah, like we're thinking Grammys crowd now. We're not thinking.
I think it was just they had their vision, but we were living everything, so we know what we were after and what our goals were and what we had in store for ourselves more. You know, we were very much about that vision and very much about, you know, that integrity of our past, and I think that they just had this whole entire other idea, and when we were delivering our idea, I think it was just, they just kept waiting for us to cave and just give them the one thing that they wanted. But instead, we caved and kept going our own direction.
You say that so maniacally, like So all right, so why don't we? Because you were kind of saying some really nice things there about your fan base, but. So let's say you're a major label rep, and I'm going to come to your shows. I'm going to come to Warped Tour and see you at Warped Tour.
Yeah.
And you were trying to describe the fan
that
goes to Warped Tour and likes you guys. How would you guys describe that fan to me?
I mean, I would just describe myself when I was 16 or 17. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I remember going to Warped Tour and being that kid, like, God, where do I go? Like, there's so many sick bands playing. Like, I need to go. And there's just such a passion, you know? Like, in it, every tour we do, you know, like, I see it happen. Like, when we do our meet and greets and it goes a little bit later, like, you know, the first kids that come in the door, they run to the front of the stage. It's like that kind of passion for music is just amazing. You know what I mean? That's what we're here for, is for kids like that, because that's who matters. That's who, you know, and having the young fan base that we do, it's awesome because they're so, you know, they grow up with us, you know, we can help them out. They can help us out. And I don't think like the major labels like fully get that. They're just kind of worried about like the general person that's out there that's going to hear a record on the radio and maybe download the single, but they're not going to like dig into the band like these young, you know, fans do. And that's what's really important to me. That's what's cool, is like, because they dig into the whole record, you know, they're not just buying Blackout on iTunes, you know, they're going and, you know, they buy the physical copy and look through the booklet, and that's the stuff that like is awesome to me.
So how would you guys say, let's say all of your fans are listening right now and they want to support you. They want to support you financially. They want it, like, so they got $20, or let's say they got $50 that they saved up for months and months. And they got $50, and this is their Breathe Carolina fund. What is the best way that they can spend that money that will support you directly, so that the money gets into your pocket and helps you guys with your band?
I think it's definitely like coming to the shows on tour, and
So buy a ticket.
and for us, it's like
Come and hang out.
it's like whatever, like, it's not, and nothing is about the money for us, but, obviously we got to eat too,
Right.
and I think that's probably the best way to do that, I guess, if you want.
But buy the stuff off of your merch store directly, or
like go to the show and go.
is it
and
better to
buy
go to
our
your
merch.
go to your booth? Yeah, go to your booth and buy the CD, or do they go to a store and buy the CD? What's the best way to keep the money into your pocket?
I think it's
The booth.
all about the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
For any band, that's where, it's crazy that without the kids there, we can't make it to the next city. So it's almost like you coming to the show tonight helps us get to the kids for tomorrow. And it's that constant cycle that it's almost like, thank you to you in advance from the kids tomorrow.
It's kind of like crowd surfing, but you're tour surfing. The kids are handing you off to the next city.
Yeah.
They do. And without the beginnings of, with iTunes, when we first posted our stuff, that's how we bought our van. That's how all those things like accumulated to us being here now and to helping us and helping our boys, feeding their families and giving them the opportunity to be here with us. It's, I think even if there was 10 kids at the show, we're still playing the show. It's so funny that kids always say, thank you so much for coming. And it's like, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
We're here regardless. That's what I tell them. We're here regardless. Thank you for wanting to be here and for giving us this amazing day. Like it's you. It really is.
How what's your feelings? Just very kind of a general question, but it's still relevant. What's your guys' feelings between giving away music for free, like you guys just did that EP, right? Mm-hmm. And versus it's kind of like waiting for it to be downloaded illegally. Like, what's your feelings on that?
I mean, I think either way,
it's gonna happen either way. So it's just like, it's whatever. And I think the reason why we did it is just because, we took a year off. So it was kind of just like, thank you to everybody. Like, thank you for sticking with us and your patience. Like, here's 3 free songs. You don't even have to feel bad about getting it illegally. You know what I mean? And you don't have to spend any money. So it's 100% guilt free.
And just out of curiosity, what do you think is going to be? How do you think bands are going to make a living in the future? Have you guys thought about your future in that respect? Like, oh crap!
People are going to have to get creative because there's so many ways to get music for free that you're not going to make money off records unless you're selling 3-4 million records, and obviously you'll get a nice check, but. Even if you're selling like 100,000 records, like your deal and what you're doing with your label, like you have to just be creative. You have to go out there and work hard. You have to think of other ways to do it. Yeah. It's something that like as you grow up, like as we grow up, is like you think about that a lot, and yeah.
Do you guys get a little worried sometimes? Like maybe read one too many stories online and then it just kind of geez.
Yeah, I mean I do, but I have so much faith in us and how we are, and I know how hardworking we are, so I know no matter what happens, we're always going to be fine. Maybe we might not have $6 million in the bank, but we'll be fine. You know what I mean? I feel like we'll always be able to coast and be good.
Stalkers?
Ha!
You ever have any bad experiences? Like, were those ones where they're like, they find out too much?
There's not really like stalkers, but, you definitely kind of run into those kids that are just too much. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's more of you get this attitude from some people, and you try to be as nice as you can, but sometimes people push your buttons in a weird way that you don't intend it to be that way. But I think we're so good about being courteous to that, because there are people that they don't necessarily have like that outgoing like way of expressing themselves, that sometimes it might just have come off awkward or different. And I think that that's the only thing that we've ever run into is we try to help people like not be afraid to talk to us or say hi, and like I think we flip it on them, like, hey, well, how's your day, and really try to dive into them instead of, maybe they've had a bad experience talking to somebody else that they looked up to, or that was their favorite band, and I think they think that they're going to have the same experience, so they already have their wall up. So breaking down that wall, I think that's all. I think that's it. Not really stalkers though, like nothing like that, or nothing really strange. Awesome. Everyone's usually really nice.
That's awesome. Okay, lightning round.
Let's go.
All right, ready? If it has been uniform at all, what's the lyric that your fans have wanted you to sign on them to get tattooed most?
Spotlight lives in all of us. It's from Diamond.
That's what I was going to say to you.
How many of those have you gotten on this tour alone? Or just
honestly, there's
year?
been quite the eclectic group of different lyrics this time around, and I'm so excited to see some songs coming up from the woodwork of lyrics, and I'm like, damn, that's so sick that and it's so funny, like knowing the track right away. Rescue, or my obsession, so sick, but Diamonds in that track and that lyric has lived with us hard.
How many in your career so far? How many marriage proposals on your stage during a show?
During a show?
Yeah, where you stop the show and somebody comes up and does that.
We've never had that.
Well,
have we? Did we have one?
On this tour, this kid was telling Colton, our guitar tech, that he was going to do that, but then he like never did. I don't know. It was really weird.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard definitely a few stories like, like I met my wife because of you guys. Like we came together listening to you, and we're married now. And I was just like, that's really cool.
I had this kid once want me to ask his girlfriend to marry him, and I was like, that's your job, man.
Yeah, that's weird shit.
Talk about passive aggressive, right?
I was like, you want to get a no real quick. That's how you do it. Man, my girlfriend would smack me in the mouth, dude.
You send her a text for me? Right. I get it. All right, favorite color, each of you?
Teal.
Red.
Favorite movie, each of you?
Army of Darkness.
Truman Show.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Favorite place to recharge. There's a couple categories here. Ready? It's oceans, right? Mountains, grasslands, prairie, Iowa, desert, forests, suburbia, or cities.
I'd say mountains.
You know what? I think just from our past, just snowboarding, being on that hill, just being by yourself and thinking and being with nature. Yeah, mountains.
I'm a band. Sure. I'm going to Denver the first time. Where do I go eat after show?
You go to Chubby's.
Chubby's?
Yeah. You go to Chubby's.
Rally Berto's. Get that green chili. Wherever. Get
Colorado has its
chili.
own style of Mexican food, so it's like the best in the world.
It's my favorite.
We're
biased,
and I'm a band and I have a day off. I need to recharge. Where's the place to go in Denver, suburban Denver and all that, where I can go and just see beauty? It's like the best spot to go, and it's not a big tourist.
I mean, Lookout Mountain's beautiful. Lookout Mountain. Buffalo Bill's grave, like top of the world.
Honestly, if you want to have a good mix, if you go to Broomfield at the Flatirons Mall, you can see the mountains and everything. Boulder. And there's like a really like nice hotels, and the mall is super nice. Like you kind of get the best of everything when you're at that spot.
You're close to Boulder. You're like halfway between Denver and Boulder from there. So.
Yeah. That's awesome. Besides the United States, favorite country in the world?
Ooh, Japan, yeah, it's so fun.
Just because it's
the language barrier is not as bad as you would think going over there. Like they all know English and
they're just really nice. It's really clean. Like it's nice. It's good vibes. Yeah,
so much to look at and do.
Favorite junk food? I think I know one of those.
Oh man, I have too many things. I think I love chili cheese fries, green chili cheese fries, not like stag green chili, green chili cheese fries.
I love Taco Bell.
Taco Bell?
I mess with it.
I thought you were going to say Chipotle.
You know
Oh,
what?
Chipotle for sure. I wouldn't consider Chipotle so much
Junk food. No, it really isn't. I mean, I did kind of mean like real crap.
Yeah.
I love
candy. I eat a lot of candy.
I've been baking cookies a lot lately. I got my cookie recipe on point.
What's your cookie?
I just been messing with the chocolate chip, but
it's
it's the day after.
tried and true.
The day after, it's so much better than fresh baked, which is weird. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Hi.
Favorite fellow musicians who would be part of your posse? And no, you're not trying to offend anybody you leave out, but
Pierce the Veil Boys.
Percival, T-Mills,
Team Mills.
Every Ave. They're not really a band anymore, but Mod Sun.
Morning of crew. Those are all amazing friends.
favorite stiff drink?
Whiskey Coke.
Whiskey Coke.
I did have a shot of Patron last night, and that always puts me under, but I'm always down. I can't pass it up, I guess.
Favorite thing to do during your off time?
Chill.
Just be with family, yeah.
Chill. Not do anything.
Favorite TV series that you
Friends.
Right now, I'm watching Breaking Bad, so I'm doing that. But Dexter, Entourage.
Favorite item of clothing you'd wear every day for the rest of your life if you could?
Man, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't wear it, but if I had to pick something to wear for the rest of my life, it would be my grandpa's jacket.
I'd probably pick out a sick jacket too.
Favorite club to play in? Not offending the others either, but just for the sake of
In Denver or outside of it?
anywhere. Like when it's on the itinerary, like, yes.
I love playing Diesel in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Diesel's so fun.
Pittsburgh is an amazing city in general, and that venue's super rad. They have like the back wall is all like lights, so the whole wall lights up. It's really sick.
I love the Masquerade in Atlanta. I think it's just grown with us, and we played there like our first tour, and we've still continued to, and that's just a home for us there.
City that has the absolute craziest fans, that where your fans are just absolutely the craziest.
You know what? It's weird to say that one. I think the craziest C crowd that I've seen was Salt Lake City Warped Tour 2010.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest looking crowd that I've ever seen for us, and I think it was just because every single person was jumping, but it looked.
It was probably like 11,000 kids.
It looked like water, like just moving, but like crazy thick waves. But it was
awesome.
just like, it was almost like every single boat like hit the water at once and just made this weird array of waves. It was so cool to see.
Tour bus, bunk spot, middle, bottom, top,
Front, bottom, left.
I'm the middle, front, right.
middle. You said bottom, is right? Mm-hmm. Why do you usually they don't want to be that close to the?
I like the ride on the bottom. I always feel like I'm gonna fall out. Like my first time we were in a bus, I had the top, front, left, and I would just I'd wake up and think I was falling out, but and just grab the wall, but I'd be fine. But so once I slept on the bottom, I was like, I like this down here. We were on Hypercrush's bus. Because I was telling you that our transmission went out, but we jumped on Hypercrush's bus and they let us, and that was the first time I ever slept on the bottom. So I've been there ever since.
Favorite time of year?
Christmas time.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
I love Christmas time.
Favorite type of animal?
I just like dogs, man.
I love dogs too.
Just
And
around them,
cats.
Tried and true. Favorite piece? We all have this because we're all music geeks. Favorite piece of rock and roll memorabilia that you own? Like it's an autographed something, or it's a classic. It's a guitar, or whatever.
Ooh.
I mean, my platinum record's pretty hard.
Yeah, there you go.
I actually have my stepdad gave me his whole record collection, so that's my favorite thing that I own is that whole body of work. I don't know, what do you got, T?
Well, I don't own it anymore, but my dad bought me my first bass when I was like 13, and I had it for like 8 years, and then gave it to him as a present, and he fixed it, so he still has it. So I think that's like something really special to me.
So your favorite piece is something he has.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Favorite celebrity that you met that ended up being the coolest person? you didn't expect?
You know what? Kendall from Big Time Rush was really cool.
Yeah.
We hung out hard with him. He's fun. He's a party kid. He's
We
chill.
met, we were playing the Masquerade one time, and the dude from Final Destination.
Yeah. Tony Todd.
Tony Todd, yeah. He was doing a photo shoot there, and we like went up, and he was super nice, and we were just like talking with him. It was cool.
Pitbull's a G too.
Yeah,
he's
Pitbull,
a really nice
really?
guy. Yeah. He was it was cool. It's one of those things that like you know he's just like the most respectful guy. And he was walking. We did a show with them in San Jose. It was a Christmas show that we were doing for radio circuit, and he was walking down the hall, and I just was like, thank you so much for having us. And he just stopped, took off his glasses, just introduced, say, yo, you guys doing okay? You need anything? And after his set, he was walking back, and he stopped and talked with me again for a little bit. And you guys, I'm going here the next day. You guys going to be on any of these other ones? And just really nice guy. I don't know. That surprised me.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Biggest myth about the band?
People always think we're married for some reason.
Yeah.
There's like so much stuff. Not me and Kyle together, but
all right. I was just gonna say.
but
They do though.
they everyone's like, oh, like we've done interviews, like, so you guys are married, right? And we're like, no, absolutely not. I'm creeped.
There was. Creeped.
That's
Yeah.
something the
That's
way
true
that-
though, yeah, because it was like all. That's the thing about Wikipedia, man. It's like everybody
exactly.
can get on it and mess with it, and it's just so funny that.
What was
that on
okay?
there for a
And
while.
so, final question is: what was the craziest thing that you read about your band online?
Trying to go on my memory bank here. Let's see.
I know. Probably after a while, it just turns into a blur.
Yeah. I don't know if I can think of like the craziest thing, but it's always funny just reading stuff that I know. It's just like, okay, that's not true. Or like, what's funny is my mom at her work, like they're all obsessed with Breathe Carolina. So, and some people don't know that she's my mom that works there. And
Because she works at the post office, right?
Oh, that's
no,
my
it's your
Kyle's
mom.
mom.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
my mom works for a global conferencing company.
Okay.
And they'll always just say things about Breathe Carolina, like, oh yeah, my daughter's actually dating one of the guys. My mom's like, actually, no, she's not. Like they'll say, like my mom will call me like, yeah, this stupid person at work just told me that you guys are going to Africa to play or something random. And I'm like, okay, I don't, this is ridiculous. So weird.
I love it. Your water cooler talk, and it's all fake.
Yeah, fake.
It's okay. That's awesome. The new record is out January,
Yes,
That's
it's
what we're
January,
hoping.
February
February.
latest. February latest.
and Beyond Fearless. And when should your fans start seeing like maybe first video or
Yeah, coming
It
up
should,
soon.
Should be during our Sleeping with Sirens tour.
Yeah.
October,
we're doing the Phillies tour with
November-ish.
them, and Memphis Mayfire Issues our last night. So.
And to kind of give them a little tip off, how will it be different than what they're used to hearing with you guys? Like what have you brought to the table this time?
It's no holds barred. Like we're going all out. I think people kind of might be expecting like a super pop record, and obviously there will be those pop-ish songs and stuff like that. But we
That's
have
what we've done since day one.
we have a lot of heavy, really aggressive, really intense lyrics, and it's going to be crazy.
Well, I think the press release that was sent out was like you're kind of trying to pull some of your roots back into the picture.
Yeah.
exactly.
Always though, I think can't forget
We
who you are. You have to
Sure.
we went through a lot.
evolving who you are.
We went through a lot this past year, and I think a lot of that, and it wasn't good stuff. So I think a lot of that kind of aggression and anger that we had is really gonna come out and be present in this record.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, not anger. It's not gonna be like a depressing record. It's just it's gonna be very real, very very intense. It's called Savages, by the way.
You guys probably, you may agree with this or not, but there's so many singers that will sit there and point at a stage and go, "That's where I have therapy." So,
Yeah.
So this is probably where this past year is going to be coming out, and this fall tour and so
Yep.
forth is going to be right on that stage. AP podcasts are recorded at Lava Room Recording Studio in Cleveland, Ohio, a New York City quality studio at Cleveland prices. check out www.lavaroomrecording.com. For more information on Alternative Press Magazine, go to www.altpress.com. The podcast engineer is John Walsh. Post-production assistance from Rob Hortensi. I'm Mike Shea, and this is All My Fault.